For decades, Australia's Olympic basketball dreams felt out of reach. The Boomers were always one of the top contenders, always knocking on the door of greatness, but they never quite made it to the promised land of a podium finish that would have ended with bringing home some sort of Olympic medal back to Australia. That is until a young, fiery guard from Canberra named Paddy Mills stepped onto the Olympic courts. This is the story of how Paddy Mills saved Australian Olympic basketball and led the Boomers to their first ever podium finish and Olympic medal. Let's rewind the clock a little. Before the years Paddy Mills wore the green and gold, the Australian Boomers Olympic squad had been a staple of Olympic basketball since 1956, making regular appearances and establishing themselves as one of the top teams outside the traditional basketball powerhouses such as the United States and European national teams. Despite their consistent presence, the ultimate prize was never obtained. Time and time again, they found themselves in heartbreaking positions, with 4th place finishes in the 1988, 1996 and 2000 Olympic Games. The Boomers in these early Olympic runs still featured incredible talent, with players like Andrew Gaze, widely known as one of the greatest scorers in international basketball history, and debatedly the most influential Australian hooper in history, as well as players like Luke Longley, who was known as a key member of the Chicago Bulls dynasty, gave the Boomers team some hope. Despite having this talent, they still struggled to overcome teams like the US and the former Soviet Union in crucial moments. The Boomers had the talent, grit and determination, but something was missing. A spark, a leader and dominant scorer who could engrave his talent into the history books. Legends like Andrew Gaze and Luke Longley laid the foundation, but the Boomers needed someone to carry the torch into a new era. Enter a young Paddy Mills. Paddy Mills first joined the Boomers in the 2008 Beijing Olympics as a 19-year-old. At that time, he was a young star at St. Mary's College in California. His selection to the Olympic squad was seen as a bold move, as Paddy had no experience on the big stage at the time. Despite his young age, it didn't take long for him to make an impact for his Boomers squad. Throughout that 2008 Olympic run, Mills showed that he could bring energy, speed and a fearlessness that electrified the team by averaging a solid 14.2 points per game in his first ever Olympic run. In a game against the USA's 2008 Redeem team, a team that was stacked with NBA superstars like Kobe Bryant, LeBron James and Chris Paul, a young Paddy Mills scored 20 points, proving himself on the global stage. Although Australia didn't win that game, Paddy showed the world that the Boomers were no pushovers, showing not only the US, but the rest of the world that the Aussie Boomers were not only hungry, but had enough talent to go head to head with the best players in the world. Paddy's performance turned heads and set the stage for what was to come in the coming Olympic Games. Over the years, Paddy has delivered countless iconic performances for the Boomers. In the 2012 London Olympics, he led the entire tournament in scoring, averaging 21.2 points per game. Despite the Boomers disappointingly finishing 7th overall in the Olympic standings, Paddy's ability to consistently hit big shots and create opportunities for his teammates made him one of the most feared guards and impactful players on the international basketball scene. In Rio 2016, the Boomers came stupidly close to their first ever medal in Boomers history, narrowly losing to Spain in the bronze medal game by 1 point with a final scoreline of 88-89. Once again, Paddy was the team's offensive engine, averaging just over 21 points per game. These performances solidified his status as one of the greatest players in not only Australian basketball history, but in Olympic history. But little did the world know at the time, he wasn't done yet. Paddy would come back for revenge and finally bring home a medal to the Australian people.
He can defend, he's going to have to play a big part of it.
Fires the three on cue and comes up with a finish. Australia lead by 7 here after 3.5 minutes.
The 2020 Tokyo Olympics were unlike any other Olympic Games in the past. First off, the Games were delayed by a year due to the COVID-19 pandemic outbreak. The Games were also held without any fans in the stands. Only the basketball players themselves and the referees were allowed in the stadiums. But for the Boomers, they saw this as an opportunity to rewrite history. And at the centre of all of it was Patty Mills himself. Paddy was unstoppable during the whole Tokyo run, averaging 23.3 points per game throughout the whole Olympic run. But most importantly, in the bronze medal match against Slovenia, Patty Mills put on a masterclass, going absolutely GOAT mode and scoring 42 points and dishing out 9 assists in the single game. His performance was nothing short of legendary. You could almost feel Paddy's drive and hunger oozing out of the TV while you were watching that bronze medal game. Thanks to Paddy's legendary performance, the Boomers won the bronze medal game against Slovenia with a final scoreline of 107-93 and securing Australia's first ever Olympic basketball medal.
16 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and let's just watch him celebrate.
One thing that sets Patty Mills apart isn't just his scoring or his speed, it's his leadership. Over the years, Paddy became the heart and soul of the Boomers. He leads by example, inspiring his teammates with his relentless work ethic and infectious passion for the game and love for his country. Other Australian basketball players who have played on the Boomers at the same time as Paddy, such as the likes of Joe Ingles, Matthew Dellavedova and Aaron Baines, have all spoken about how Paddy lifts everyone around him. Whether it's hitting clutch shots or just hyping up the locker room, Paddy is the spirit of the Boomers, and everyone on the team knows and loves that about him. His commitment to team culture is unparalleled, and his sense of responsibility to represent Australia on the world stage is evident in everything he does on and off the basketball court. During this legendary historical Boomers run, Paddy didn't just carry the Boomers on the court, he carried the weight of an entire nation's dreams on his shoulders. And when that final buzzer sounded, he stood at the very top of Australian basketball history by managing to do something that no other Aussie basketball player had ever been able to accomplish, bringing home a bronze medal back to Australia. Paddy's journey with the Boomers is more than just a story of basketball pain and success. It's a testament to the power of leadership, resilience and belief. Paddy didn't just save Australian Olympic basketball. He inspired a generation and proved that dreams, no matter how long in the making, can become a reality. So there you have it. That's the story of how Patty Mills not only managed to save Australian Olympic basketball, but bring a bronze medal home for his country. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like the video, subscribe and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Who's your favourite Boomers player of all time? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching and goodbye.